In case you don't know me, I'm Elizabeth Mauck. I'm the very proud Chancellor of the Vermont State Colleges System, and so happy to be here with you today. The Vermont State Colleges System was established for the benefit of Vermont, and we envision a future where every Vermonter has the opportunity to pursue an affordable and flexible education. The Vermont State Colleges is where careers are aligned, lifelong learning is fueled, and the economy and social well-being of every corner of Vermont is enhanced. Achieving our vision, it requires VSC to stay agile, adapt to student demands, and ensure that every Vermonter has access to continuous learning opportunities. We aim to be the trusted partner Vermonters turn to for ongoing training, credentials, and advancement opportunities. We have undergone a complicated and total transformation over the last 5 years, and we're here today to celebrate the progress we've made together for our shared future. I'd like to recognize the legislators and former legislators in the room, members of the governor's team, as well as those who played an essential role in securing the future of the Vermont State Colleges system over the last several years. And let's give them all a round of applause. I'd also like to recognize some guests from across the system, most especially President Joyce Judy from the Community College of Vermont and President Dave Berg, Vermont State University's president. You are the foundational pillars of the Vermont State College system and are the anchors that help us achieve our shared goals. Finally, and really most importantly, our faculty, our staff, and our students. It's so wonderful to see so many of you here today. Every one of you has played a role in shaping a public higher education system that reflects the needs and aspirations of Vermont. Faculty and staff, you are the backbone and core of our institutions and our college system. To our students, you are the lifeblood and the reason we do what we do. I hope you share my pride in all we've accomplished together and all that we will continue to accomplish as we move forward. Thank you. I'd now like to introduce the President Pro Tem, Senator Phil Baruth.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. I just want to go back 5 years. My colleague, Senator Westman, who's standing here, was the first person to let the Senate know that the Chancellor then had called for 3 campuses to be shut down due to extreme financial pressures. And we were stunned. We were not in the chamber. We were connected virtually. And everyone on the call wondered, how could this have happened? And the truth is, it was on us. It was on the legislature. And I want to credit my former colleague, Anthony Polina, who always pointed out that the enabling statute of the state colleges required the state to pick up a substantial portion of the costs for the system. And over the years, we had let that slip. And so, as I say, that was on us. And at the time, as chair of education, I felt particularly that it was on me. And so I joined the Select Commission to reimagine the future of the state college system. And it was a wonderful group. We have members of that group here today. It was a plan that at the time was not embraced by everyone. So there were a number of prominent folks in the state and in the legislature who used the phrase, a waste of money. Let's close those 3 campuses down and save the remaining parts of the system. We refused to do that, and it wasn't just us. We had students circling the State House, blowing their horns, students and parents and faculty. We had union members who were advocating that. We had people who believed that every corner of the state of Vermont must have a higher education for their people locally. And so we got behind the idea of Vermont State University, the unified system, connected with the ability for students to take courses at places other than where they happen to be physically. And there was to be a new emphasis on virtual enrollment too, given the diverse lives of the population we were looking to target. And it has been successful. And I want to here today congratulate all of the people who have made that happen, not only the chancellors, not only the presidents, but the advocates in the building who I see here today, and everyone else who played their part. I will say that when you turn a very big ship, the water gets choppy for a little bit. And we had our share of choppiness on the way, but now we are headed in a perfectly smooth direction, is my hope, and the sun is there. So I think of this as the first day of the best days of this system's life. So thank you very much, and join with me in a round of applause for those folks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jill Krowinski, the Speaker of the House, and I still can't believe it. It's 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we began a journey that required tough conversations, a commitment to collaboration, and a shared vision for the future of our state college system. Every step of the way, we made a pledge to sustain and strengthen our state colleges because we knew what was at stake: educational access for our students, opportunities for our workforce, and the value of critical institutions to the fabric of our state. Today, we know that commitment is paying off, and we are seeing the results. The numbers speak for themselves. Enrollment is growing. And early, very preliminary data for the coming academic year shows a 15% increase in total deposits, a 20% increase in first-year students, and a remarkable number of those who are first-generation college students, right? That means thousands of Vermonters, projected over 4,000 enrolled in at least one course at VTSU this fall, and they are gaining the knowledge and skills they need to support their families, to thrive in their workplaces, and lead in their communities. Behind every number is a student, a faculty member, a staff member, a person who showed up and believed in the promise of a public higher education system. The collective rally to save our state colleges is incredible, and the impact is immeasurable. Your belief in this work has made this moment possible. But we are not done, right? We are not done. We are back on track, and I couldn't be more excited for the next chapter of this partnership and progress. And with that, it's now my honor to introduce a colleague who has been truly instrumental in this journey, the chair of the Vermont State College's Board of Trustees and a member of the Vermont House, Representative Lynn Dickinson. Lynn, thank you so much for your leadership and the entire board.
Well, welcome tonight. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I'd like to say that the legislative leadership in the past 5 years have been extremely helpful and very strong advocates for this. I have served as a legislative trustee for 13 years on this board, and I got to be chairman by default, but took it over 5 years ago. And I'm really glad I did, because I've gotten to work with some really wonderful people. But this is the right group of people, the right group of leaders at the right time. I am reassured by that every day when I see the progress that we are making toward strategic priorities of accessibility and affordability. For example, we have pathways now between our two institutions that are getting better and stronger every day, with the professional studies program allowing students to seamlessly transfer and design a bachelor's degree that works for them while they're also working in place and working and making it work at their own career. The nursing program is expanding in our rural communities and filling the needs in a sector and the workforce that desperately needs the highly skilled workforce and the highly skilled individuals that we produce. I'd like to thank the governor and his support of the traditional and non-traditional pathways to higher and continuing education for Vermonters. This is where we are really at our strength. He's been a good partner for the VSC. And I'd like to say on behalf of the board, a heartfelt thank to our faculty and staff for their Herculean efforts over the last several years. They have come through every time, so thank you. And I just want to say that I want to thank everyone here for making all these efforts so worthwhile and having the success that we have. And at that, I'd like to turn it over to introduce President David Berg of Vermont State University.
Afternoon, everyone. I bring a perspective to this role, having many years ago served at Johnson when it was Johnson State, and I see some colleagues from that era here. Coming full circle now to be president of VTSU as we move out of merger mode and toward our next chapter. I came into this project probably at around the halfway point after VTSU was well into its first year. And I was blown away by all that had been done, the incredible work to start our transformation and to make this successful. It has not always been smooth, and it hasn't always been without mistakes. But, you know, building a future while flying is no easy task. I realize we're mixing the flying and the metaphor is right. Through it all, I saw great ingenuity, tenacity, collaboration, and a universal passion for the success of our students among our faculty, our students, and fellow students, our faculty, staff, and fellow students alike. President Pro Tem Baruth and Speaker Krawinski, my gratitude. You know, thank you for your leadership and your vision of what a modern, sustainable partnership can look like between a public higher ed system and the state. I want to follow up on what Speaker Krawinski shared about enrollment recovery, because today, in addition to being May Day, and I'm delighted that we have some students and colleagues out exercising their rights on the lawn right now, today is also the traditional decision day for college seniors as they contemplate their next steps. And our admissions staff always tries to rein me in from getting too prematurely enthusiastic, but the numbers today are actually slightly better than even that 15% that the speaker mentioned. So we're thrilled. You know, it's certainly still early, and a lot happens between now and August. That's the caveat, but there are some really, really positive trends in there. These numbers are a reflection of the fact that we are meeting the evolving needs of our students. They have continued to thrive at VTSU while often traveling between campuses, utilizing various learning modalities, online, in-person plus, and all of the above. Students report high satisfaction levels with the support they're receiving, and that with the opportunities they are taking advantage of. I really truly believe that VTSU is delivering a student-centered, relationship-based education with holistic support that our students value. And when we focus on meeting the needs of our students, I really think that we can accomplish anything. That's our North Star. So that, along with the confidence and the ongoing support of the legislature and the governor, with all that with us, I feel that the sky's the limit. So thank you so much for being here today, and I'm delighted now to introduce my colleague Megan Meacham, who's a VTSU faculty member and the current Faculty Assembly moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, President Berg. It's a real joy to be here today to celebrate VTSU. As President Berg just mentioned, my name is Megan Meacham. I'm a professor in the communications program at the Linden campus, and I have the distinct honor of being the moderator of the faculty this year. I'm also a very proud Linden alumni. We're here to celebrate Vermont State University, and the timing feels right as we are just a few weeks away from wrapping up our second academic year together. What we have done as a newly merged university deserves to be celebrated, and there has been a lot that's been accomplished. As a faculty member on the Linden campus, I felt firsthand the uncertainty of our future almost 5 years ago when a then Northern Vermont University was facing a closure threat. Uncertainty came again several years later with this concept of merging all 5 campuses into Vermont State University. I'm so incredibly grateful to the state leaders who recognize the importance of our state college campuses and have continued to support us as we find a way to a sustainable place as VTSU. We have been challenged to think differently about how our university looks, how we teach, how we step up to provide our students with the best education we can, while understanding what their needs are, and they're constantly changing, and that we need to be smart financially with our decision making. Believe me, a lot has been asked of our faculty and staff with this unification. I don't know that I can completely articulate just how much the faculty and staff have done to get us to where we are, but we take our responsibility seriously and are committed to our students and their success. That's part of the fiber of Vermont State. So what's there to be proud of? Designing a new system, thinking of new ways to provide access to students, designing and implementing an entirely new program array, creating new partnerships within our communities and around the state. We've done all of those things while simultaneously continuing to be present for our students every day, working closely with our colleagues, maintaining longstanding relationships within our communities, and so much more. We are resilient, and we have proven our commitment to seeing the success of Vermont State University. There is a bright future as we continue forward. And our students, if we could celebrate them for a second, and what they've managed to accomplish as we transformed into Vermont State. They have designed and implemented a new student government structure that brings all of our campuses together and their student bodies together while maintaining their independence and identities. They have won awards and accolades around the country for their scholarship and academic work, and they are participating in internships and workforce development opportunities all around the state and the region. Vermont State has stepped up to be the place for all learners to advance their knowledge and earn credentials, and we do it in a way that highlights the needs for our state and in conjunction with local partners. That's not bad for a university that has had to reinvent itself and has been doing so over the past 2 years. But all of that isn't possible without the continued support of our state legislators, and I wanted to say thank you for believing in us. Thank you for believing in our students. Thank you for seeing the importance of Vermont State University, and we hope that you continue to see the value of VTSU and its importance to the Vermont landscape and workforce. The last few years has been hard as we've merged these 3 legacy institutions and 5 campuses and remote sites together, but it's been really, really satisfying work, and we all know there's more to come. But we've made so much progress together, and I'm confident that we will continue to harness the strength we have shown as we continue to serve Vermonters and Vermont's future and be a part of the new era of higher education. So thank you.
So good to see everyone here today. Thanks for coming to this special event here today. I've had the distinct privilege of having served as a faculty member and in the administration at the Linden campus for 25 years. I retired from that work here now. This is my retirement here back in the State House. Also an alum here and proud supporter just like Megan. I spent a lot of time working with Megan and others here on the Linden Alumni Council, which is a great way for anyone here who is an alum of any one of the institutions here to contribute and bring something back here to your campus. The Vermont State Colleges, especially Vermont State University, are essential to the rural economic vitality of Vermont, as all of our campuses are here across the state here. We feel this acutely in Linden, and we're all very proud of all that was done to preserve the opportunities available to rural youth and to adults looking for their next step. VTSU has seen a 52% increase in part-time students since 2019, and the average age of those students is 30, and that means something given the change in demographics here in Vermont. The system's willingness and ability to shift and expand the educational programs being offered and when and how they're offered to everyone here in an ever-expanding population of learners, including career changers, working adults, parents, grandparents, all of whom need and deserve access to high-quality education that will allow them to develop and share their gifts. when students see their options, they have an opportunity to hone their aspirations, and it's why access points and on-ramps like what's being offered in the Vermont State College system is so critical. As we look to the future of the Vermont State College system and Vermont State University's future as well, we have confidence for our shared future, and thank you all for joining us here today. I was the last speaker. Okay. I should have said that at the beginning here. But thank you here for being here today. We're happy to connect with all of you here, and please enjoy the food and beverages. Thank you.